Value begins with location. Buyers pay for access to jobs, schools, transport, safety, and daily convenience. Daily version. Two identical houses can differ because one cuts a commute in half. Land around the home often matters more than paint. Check the visible signals. Compare nearby sales, repair needs, layout, school access, commute, and future supply before trusting one number. A practical floor plan can beat extra square footage that wastes space. Case. A smaller home with good storage feels better than a larger chopped-up one. Usable space creates value. The idea gains value when a decision is attached to it. A small correction at this point can prevent a more painful adjustment later. Buyers discount homes that may hide repair costs. Imagine a roof near the end of life reduces confidence even if the kitchen looks new. The simplest check is comparable sales and future usefulness, because it replaces guessing with something observable. The issue becomes concrete when a roof near the end of life reduces confidence even if the kitchen looks new. The first thing to isolate is comparable sales set anchors. Recent nearby sales guide what buyers and lenders believe is reasonable. Think of a seller wants more but 3 similar homes closed lower. The market uses evidence. A buyer or owner should compare the visible price with the costs that arrive later. Rare homes in popular areas attract stronger offers. Concrete case. A single-family house near a station may receive multiple bids. That difference matters when money, time, or trust is on the line. You can recognize the pattern when a single-family house near a station may receive multiple bids. It shows why home value comes from location, usable space, condition, financing, and buyer demand. Monthly payment matters as much as listing price. Think of higher mortgage rates can reduce what buyers can bid. Credit conditions shape value. When higher mortgage rates can reduce what buyers can bid, home value comes from location, condition, usable space, demand, financing, and buyer confidence together. A home's value comes from usefulness, scarcity, condition, location, and what similar buyers are willing to pay nearby. The first part to separate is schools influence demand. Families often pay premiums for trusted school zones. Picture. A modest house can cost more because of its catchment area. Services around the home carry value. Here, home value comes from location, condition, usable space, demand, financing, and buyer confidence together. Planned transit, malls, or noisy roads can change expectations. Imagine a new metro stop can lift demand while a highway may hurt quiet streets. Buyers price the future. The cause and the symptom no longer blur together. That situation shows why location, condition, layout, comparables, and buyer demand deserve attention before anyone chooses a response. Renovations are not equal. Repairs that reduce risk often matter more than flashy upgrades. Common case. New plumbing may not photograph well but prevents expensive fear. Functional improvements protect value. Here, 2 same-size homes selling differently because one has better schools and fewer repairs shows why location, condition, layout, comparables, and buyer demand matter more than a broad label. Curb appeal creates first trust. The exterior shapes the buyer's emotional starting point. Example. Peeling paint makes people wonder what else was neglected. Appearance influences perceived care. Here, home value comes from location, condition, usable space, demand, financing, and buyer confidence together. Energy and running costs. Efficient windows, insulation, and systems reduce monthly burden. Think of a cheaper house with high utility bills may be less attractive. Ownership cost affects price. 2 same-size homes selling differently because one has better schools and fewer repairs. Buyers watch whether an area is improving, stagnant, or declining. Common case. New cafes, safer streets, and better sidewalks can shift demand. When new cafes, safer streets, and better sidewalks can shift demand, home value comes from location, condition, usable space, demand, financing, and buyer confidence together. This scene should leave one concrete lesson: comparable sales and future usefulness. The signal becomes more useful when read when commute time is treated as evidence, not background noise. Title issues, permits, or boundary disputes can damage value. Picture: an unpermitted extension scares lenders and buyers. Clean paperwork supports price. The pressure comes from location, condition, layout, comparables, and buyer demand. Missing that link makes the outcome look random. The everyday version is an unpermitted extension scares lenders and buyers. It shows why home value comes from location, usable space, condition, financing, and buyer demand. The easiest mistake is to ignore school zones because it looks minor until natural light makes the cost visible. Some features create desire beyond pure math. Think of morning light, a garden, or a quiet street can win buyers. Homes are financial and emotional assets. A buyer or owner should compare the visible price with the costs that arrive later. Two homes with the same size can sell differently if one has better schools, less noise, or fewer repair problems. A stale listing can make buyers suspicious. Pricing strategy affects outcome. A buyer or owner should compare the visible price with the costs that arrive later. Property decisions become clearer when cash flow, risk, repairs, and resale are separated. The issue becomes concrete when you can see it when a home sitting for months may receive lower offers even after a price cut. Appraisals can limit deals even when a buyer is willing to pay more. A lender may not finance above the appraised value, which means the buyer must bring extra cash, renegotiate, or walk away. A high offer is not always the final price if the bank sees less value than the buyer does. Home value is partly emotional, but it is not random. Buyers pay for convenience, confidence, lower repair risk, future resale, and the daily life the home makes possible. Investor value matters because investors care about rent, expenses, vacancy, and resale. Picture: a beautiful home can be a weak investment if rent is low. Value depends on the buyer type. Buyers pay for the future experience of living there, not just the number of bedrooms on paper. A home's value is built from more than walls and square footage. Location, layout, condition, financing, buyer demand, schools, noise, repairs, and future supply all matter. The smartest buyers look past the surface and ask which parts of the value will still matter years later. The best comparison is a recent similar sale, adjusted for condition, layout, street quality, and timing. A home becomes valuable when it solves practical problems better than competing properties. Commute time, school access, natural light, floor plan, parking, noise, repairs, and resale confidence can outweigh simple square footage. A home's value is not only the walls. It is the package of location, condition, layout, land, financing, schools, noise, safety, and future usefulness. A valuable home solves real problems for real buyers. A beautiful house can underperform if it creates problems buyers do not want to inherit. Two similar homes can sell very differently because buyers are not just buying square feet. They are buying convenience, risk, pride, and the life they believe the property will support. Location, layout, condition, schools, commute, safety, land, and future resale all combine to decide whether a property feels useful enough to compete for. That is why two homes of similar size can receive very different offers from buyers standing in the same market.